Hello. Oh, hello. Welcome. Soul Reaver 2 on the menu. Soul Reaver 1 I just finished last night. The first time in my life on PlayStation 1. And if you would like to see any of that, you can check it out on my Twitch channel. Although, the story ended on a cliffhanger, so I'm thinking I want to know what happens next. So, I've decided to continue the game in its sequel form on the PlayStation 2, but on YouTube as a series. I'm using the OSSC, as always, to upscale original hardware. What do you need to know? What do you need to know that you probably don't already know if you're here, I suppose? The story ended very much on a cliffhanger. It seems that there was something of a dimensional time aspect introduced towards the end of the first game. Wherever we were meant to ultimately fight Cain as Raziel, it was to be somewhere else in time. So after defeating him at the end of the first game, he just kind of gallivants off. Time stuff. I want answers. I'm here for answers. God damn it, Jim, I'm a streamer, not a doctor. Rubicon. Guava. Delicious. Anyway, you know, just a little bit of skirt before we begin. Give you a little bit of the flavor, I suppose. Maybe you'll find me fucking insufferable. But this game is pretty cool. Okay, ultimately, the PlayStation 1 game was very deeply flawed and difficult to get through, but a very good game with very good bones. I like how he stalks around, although the actual platforming aspect of the game was fucking jank. So I'm hoping to see an improvement on that. Strengths from the last game, animation, design, writing, voice acting on another level, and the industrial underworld type soundtrack. I'll edit out, cut out all that stuff about the eggs not cracking when you use them as a suppository. Just cut all that. Here you can see my copy of Soul Reaver Legacy of Cain. Let's get stuck into this and see what's going on, shall we? Okay, this is literally the last cutscene of the first game. Interesting. Different voice. It's a different voice for Cain.
Did it trouble you to murder your brothers? Did it trouble you when you ordered me into the abyss?
They've redone this scene from the end of the first game. This was the boss arena?
When I first stole into this chamber centuries ago, I did not fathom the true power of knowledge.
I wonder why they have a different voice actor. Raziel sounds to be the same though.
To see its paths and streams tracing out into the infinite. As a man, I could never contain such forbidden truths.
Yeah.
But each of us is so much more than we once were. Do you not feel with all your soul how we have become like gods? And as such, are we not indivisible? As long as a single one of us stands, we are legion.
The Vampire Nation.
Are predestined.
Raziel looking blue dabba-dee dabba-die this time around.
Eons ago, we each play out the parts fate has written for us. Free will is an illusion.
I mean, the designs are still spot on, as jarringly different as his voice is.
How could you profane a priest by turning him into a vampire? How could I not?
Oh!
One must keep his friends close, Raziel.
They've actioned that bit.
Even closer.
Is that how we...
Who better to
He just let
serve
out.
those whose passion transcends all notions of good and evil?
Look at those eyes this time around.
Defending Nazgul from the corruption that we represent.
Yeah, his eyes are open. He said it! I remembered it! Nice, holy shit.
Unlife you rudely forced on my unwilling corpse.
I mean, there's a lot of quotable stuff going on in this series, like, for sure.
You may have uncovered your past, but
Portend these postures.
you think the Sarafan were noble, altruistic?
Yeah, that's what the idea was, right?
Oh, don't be simple. Their agenda was the same as ours.
Did he say this? This is new, isn't it? I don't remember him saying that. I remember him saying something similar to that. But... not worried. The Seraphim, he turned the Seraphim priests into vampires.
You nearly had me, Raziel.
Did he? Not from the looks of that cutscene. It's like you threw him to the ground like a piece of wet tissue paper.
Fate promises
Yeah.
more twists before
This is it.
drama unfolds.
So this is the promise. This is why I'm here. The promise of what this may lead to. This moment from the previous game, and we're following straight through where we lose the influence of the narrator for the first game. I don't know if they're going to get mentioned here at all. Giant tentacle daddy. Got our lightsaber arm back. Good to see. Okay, so it's familiar but different a little. That's good. Like, I mean, the design still looks amazing.
Raziel, Redeemer and Destroyer, Pawn and Messiah.
Morbius, right?
Welcome,
Is it Morbius?
tight soul.
What would you call this guy?
To your destiny.
He looked very different in PS1, but that's fair. He was much stiffer from what I remember. Ooh. You know what that reminds me of? Spawn. His eyes, actually. When it closed on his eyes there, I immediately thought of Spawn. We could... Oh, a good Spawn game. Could you imagine?
Where
like an
am
Arkham
I?
style game, but
Is the usual
Spawn
question.
universe?
In
Your
your
cape?
case, when might be more apt.
Very well, you old snake.
Snake.
If you prefer I use my bare hands.
Well, this is completely unexpected. This orb disables our vampire enemies, leaving them helpless and incapacitated. Strangely, it seems to have the same effect on that peculiar weapon of yours. But you must believe me. I mean you no harm.
You can drop the benevolent facade, Mobius. I know who and what you are. I shall
Oh,
kill
where is
you where you
Mobius?
Stand.
No, I said Morbius. Mobius. Mobius, like Mobius strip.
Perhaps you should, my
Right.
boy. But you don't.
Are you so certain of that, Mobius?
Look at those forehead muscles.
My role is time
No,
guardian
with
of
added
a
forehead
certain level
muscles.
of Omniscience, Raziel. No, you don't kill me. That honor belongs to your maker, Cain. Some 30 years from now.
Oh, because he
You
can
two
dip
are
through
a
time.
pair. You're just as fatalistic as he is.
Yeah.
Death comes for us all, Raziel. It's just a matter of time.
How is it that you know my name? We have never met.
On the
Well,
contrary, Raziel,
yeah.
I know you very well.
Come on, use your
Grieves
noggin.
me to see how cruelly Cain has used you. I knew you when you were one of the Sarafan Brotherhood, Raziel.
Oh,
We were even close.
Oh, please.
Fortunately,
here.
you need not love me now to be my ally.
He doesn't need a friend,
Are
he
we
needs...
within the stronghold of
a
the
fighter.
Sarafan priesthood?
Yes, but the glorious days of the Sarafan have long since passed.
So he made them Saffron priests, his
This
brothers,
is a more
Cain, by
cynical
resurrecting them as
and
vampires.
indecorous age. My mercenary army now inhabits this stronghold. We strive to honor the memory of the Sarafan with our own humble crusade.
Is this the vampire Vorador?
Look at that vampire.
The scourge of the circle, the most depraved and decadent example of his whole degenerate race. He
Nice.
slaughtered 6 of my fellow guardians as they cowered defenseless in this room.
Dear.
And you somehow survived this massacre?
Look at her
I
face
and
in the
2
background.
others. The circle was devastated. Only we 3 were spared.
How
That goblin looks way too keen with that
You
tongue as
forgive me
well.
if I don't naively devour every scrap of information you toss me.
Yeah.
You have a reputation for deceit.
And who has slandered me, sir?
This weirdly
Your
reminds me of that
malefactor
scene at
Cain,
Loki when he
the one who
meets the
betrayed
time
and
guy.
destroyed you, our
End of
common
time,
enemy.
Kang.
Consider the source before you judge me too harshly.
Okay.
We'll forget about rekindling our old friendship then. But consider an alliance based on our common ground. We both want Cain dead. I can help you do it.
You don't want to meddle in this, old man. I know all about your sordid little schemes, but you're simply out of your depth on this one.
You underestimate me, Raziel. Let me show you. Even now, Cain is lying in wait for you, unaware that I've snatched you out of the time stream and brought you here to me.
Oh.
See how he lingers at the very pillars he is destined to destroy, foolishly confident that he has eluded your grasp.
Just chilling.
Still standing in this time.
Yes, Raziel. They are the embodiment of the divine force which preserves the life of our world. We who serve the pillars maintain their delicate balance, and Cain is destined to be the fulcrum upon which that balance turns.
Fulcrum.
I believe you have already endured the wasteland wrought by his terrible, selfish decision. Cain's very existence is a cancer upon this world. As long as he lives, all of Nosgoth is in peril. You may never again be human, Raziel.
Not likely at this stage.
Embrace the essence of your humanity and the nobility of your Sarafan heritage. Go to him, Raziel.
What does Mobius know about the nobility of humanity?
But first, you will need to find your way out of the stronghold, and in this, I'm afraid I cannot help you. My soldiers will not understand your appearance here. They will try to kill you. You needn't fear them, of course. They're no match for you.
Yeah.
Try to keep casualties to a minimum. But
I'll try.
do what you have to do. All great movements require a few martyrs.
You want to make an omelet, you gotta break a few eggs, you know? If you prefer the non-Shakespearean sounding version of that.
Alone now.
Want to make an omelet, you gotta break a few eggs.
And noticed a second time streaming chamber. Its entrance identical to the first, but with one distinction. That crystal was significant, but how? I had not yet discovered.
Okay, so we find ourselves in the Seraphim tomb. Seraphim room of tomb. The doom room of Seraphim. And I still... Okay, so let me just get to grips with the controls, because... Oh, so I've got two analog sticks, because L2 and R2 were like, changed the camera around last time. So we're more advanced. It weirdly still feels like the PS1 version. But a bit tidier. Okay, look at that. Look at What's this? Damn. This vampire's getting around. Like, he's like taking a bite out of everybody. Nom 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 nom. Got David Fincher up there disapprovingly looking down. Alright. So then, where shall we hoppity off to? I can hop into the splish splash, have it a bath. Get our little health now. I assume we're going to be jumping between the real and spectral realms again. Coming to the first game? Who knows? I have no idea what to expect here. I just gotta tell you that, like, other than twists and turns, this is stuff. There's one. What about if I were to... Oh, okay, so this is a bit more like a beat 'em up. This feels a bit more like sort of like a Devil May Cry type affair this time. Okay. What about that rat? Can I have that rat? There's another weapon over there. I'm wondering if... well, we have a compass actually this time, so already we're like way ahead, like in terms of navigation from the first game. Because one of the toughest aspects of the first game was navigation. A Metroidvania style map with a PS1 draw distance and no actual in-game map or indicators. Like, you just have to memorize everything, which is great. Like, if, you know, if you were back in the day and it was the only disc you had and you were playing it months on end, but not whenever you're streaming it for the first time in your life. It was tough at times trying to find the way forward in some instance, but we persevered. Ultimately, it was worth it. Okay, let's... Okay, we can dodge, we can dodge, we can dodge. That's good, actually. I like that. This game, also, I did a quick Google beforehand, and it seems that it's 60 frames. So that's very interesting as well. So maybe not expecting a massive jump in graphical fidelity from the first game. If they're shooting for 60 on a PS2, I suppose, right? Because that would 60 frames, I would say, would imply like not as much emphasis on the graphics. Although the design is still really nice. It's definitely not. Ooh, it's definitely not the nicest PS2 game I've seen. First time I've laid eyes on this. But it's nice because it's like, it feels like visually fluid. Having just finished the first one last night, I don't feel like I'm playing something else unfamiliar. I know some games have sequels that just go off on one.
The stronghold, I discovered evidence of my former nobility and my life
Nice.
as a Sarafan priest.
Okay, so we're gonna get to find out who Raziel was.
So foully stolen from me when Cain raided my sacred crypt and defiled me.
Yeah, we found the crypt in the first game where we and our brothers were conceived by our master Cain. That is to say, he just found a tomb of Seraphim priests and made us vampires. What an asshole. Am I supposed to be able to pick this up? No. See, you see, there is 3 of you though. So I'm thinking maybe if I could have a weapon, that would be ideal. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to fight 3 of you, am I? Like, with my fists? Oh, you're gonna... Okay, so you're all gonna attack me one at a time. That's great. And also you've got power moves I can dodge. That is very cool. I'm liking this, like, auto finishing. You had to, like, hold a button in the first game to initiate that. Just saves a bit of time that he just automatically does it. Makes sense, it would be part of his moveset. But again, these little fluid continuations of the movement that just tie into themselves from the first one make it feel again much more like a sort of like a Devil May Cry style beat 'em up. Like, yeah, definitely feels a bit different in that sense. I'm sorry, we just defeated those guys and something opened, right? This is my problem a lot of the time. Picking up the cues. What are our buttons anyway? What's this? Park Chronicle? Dark Chronicle. Park Chronicle. Oh boy. So that's our soul suck button is the same, attack is the same. I mean, a lot of the buttons are relatively the same, which is good. Is select still... Oh, it is! To shift. I just also seen a view map. That's interesting. I'm not seeing anything special in here as a deadite. A deadite, if you like. That magic looked a bit different. No, that's just a soul. Oh. So. The enter, my friend, is blowing in the wind. That's where I came from, right? Map doesn't look particularly useful, does it? Nice low res, uninteractive map. You'd be probably better off googling it. Can we open this? Oh, we cannot. Okay. Oh, we go this way. Okay. Can we smash glass? Must be... What did that say? Is this like a gate? Do we have our ability from the first game where we can phase through the gate? Yes, we do. So we're starting this game with our abilities from the last game. There's real continuity here, actually. Interesting. We're doing much more with the skewing of the geography.
Cursed staff. I could feel the strength of the Soul Reaver slowly returning. If that orb was as debilitating to vampires as it was to the blade, it gave Mobius a powerful advantage over his enemies. I finally understood how Mobius's crusade could decimate the vampires so successfully. If he could immobilize his enemies, they were at his mercy. But why, I wondered, would the staff have any effect on the Reaver?
Why would the staff have any effect on the Reaver? Didn't he say it would affect vampires, so the Reaver is like an undead weapon? Something as simple as that? Right, okay. How do I explode them this time, I wonder? Oh, wow, okay. One hit and the sword goes away, same as the first game. Now, that is a bummer. That was one of my least favorite aspects of the first game. My least favorite aspects of the first game was the fact that you had your sword, but if you get hit once, you lost your sword. It's gonna maybe be easier to hold on to the sword in this game, but with the PlayStation 1 junk, it was particularly difficult to avoid a lot of hits. Lovely. Stiff. I guess I can teleport through these gates in astral form right after we kill these guys. They do seem to wait sometimes though if I'm fighting them one at a time. Well, not right there, but for the most part when I lock on to someone there seems to be a little less aggro around than these other fiends. Whoa, that was bad. I've got this person's weapon now though, that's cool. Yoink. We got a big gate.
As I neared the stronghold's inner sanctum, a strange sensation crept over me. An indescribable feeling of displacement, a sense of vertigo, as reality itself appeared to warp and bend around me. The disturbance seemed to emanate from the sanctuary's furthest chapel. As I cautiously approached, the sense of dislocation intensified with each step. So this was the tomb of the beloved King William the Just, beatified here as the martyr and catalyst of Mobius's crusade.
Oh.
I was reminded of Cain's journey as a fledgling vampire, how Mobius coerced him to travel back in history and assassinate William, thus igniting a genocidal hatred of vampires among the citizens of Nosgoth.
Oh.
And here I discovered the
Origins.
source of the displacement. The Soul Reaver itself, laid out like a holy relic, and broken, apparently in the battle between William and Cain. I had not thought such a thing was possible, until, of course, Cain shattered the blade against me when he tried to strike me down. Thus, the captive spirit inhabiting the Reaver was released, and binding itself to me, became my symbiotic weapon. And so the Reaver,
Kinda like a
its
fucked up
former self,
Camelot sword.
still imprisoned in this corporeal shell. I watched, mesmerized, as the Wraith blade uncoiled itself and snaked down the length of the physical blade. Embracing its twin, its mirror self, the Reaver's long dormant spirit was now fully aroused, and for the first time, I felt the true presence of this other entity, willful, ravenous, and deranged from thousands of years of imprisonment. The Reaver was now in command, and I, now merely its helpless host, felt my soul being leeched to restore the blade.
Oh dear. Symbiotic, more like
The Reaver
parasitic.
knew better than to destroy its host, and just as I neared the brink of oblivion, the blade released its hold on me. As I recovered, I realized we were now bound together in a fragile alliance. The Reaver no longer merely my symbiotic weapon, but a sentient parasite competing for control. What have you done to me, Mobius? Is this your trap?
How mine? Don't forget it was Cain who led you here, not I. while you curse me. The only soul in Nosgoth ready to guide and assist you, Cain laughs at our folly and revels in your dismay.
These blades, now coiled in sinister embrace, have inspired terror in the hearts of creatures far more durable than you, old man. Bound together as they are,
Plop on his head, though.
I can only imagine what they could do to your soul's fragile shell.
Raziel, I beg you to stay your hand. This was none of my doing. I have sought only to aid you in your righteous quest.
Why, you're trembling, Mobius. Has your confidence abandoned you? You seem to have made
Taunted
a
him now.
fatal error by leaving your precious staff behind. Is that where all your courage comes from?
Who's talking right now? The Reaver or
Listen to me,
Raziel?
Raziel. You don't know what you're doing. I have taken an enormous risk by appearing here before you.
He did
So
seem evil at the end of the
defenseless,
first game. We
yet
saw himself in the
eager
future
to
with
prove my good
a red
intentions.
blade.
If there's anything left of the Seraphim in you, you won't do this. While you threaten me, your true enemy eludes you.
Don't concern yourself with Cain, old man. He'll join you in hell soon enough. As you said, death comes for us all.
Ruthless.
Yes, the wheel of fate demands it.
What did you say?
The wheel of fate. The inexorable cycle
Didn't
of
Mobius
death
say
and
he doesn't
rebirth
die for
to
30
which
years?
all men are compelled. We serve the same God, Raziel. To strike me down would be striking God's own attendant. And I don't believe even you would take that risk.
He's definitely going to do it now.
Tired of your games, Mobius. Now that I know you fear me, I needn't concern myself with you. Cain is waiting for me.
Did he just chug the sword away? What?
Seek Cain out and destroy him in the
What about
name of the
the
one
sword,
God
though?
we both serve.
Yeah,
You,
we're gonna need
who
that.
were once a Seraphim priest, murdered, profaned, destroyed, and reborn again from his mercy. You are now most powerfully equipped to be his agent, his instrument of restoration and retribution.
My own vengeance is motivation enough.
This is great. The writing's still good, the voice acting's still great. The music is not hitting as good though. Definitely
my
not feeling the
soul.
music as much this time around so far.
You almost
It's still
had
very, very
me,
early. We're just starting, so
my
I'm
little
gonna get
blue
too
assassin.
concerned about it.
That'll be the one and only chance you get. I assure you of that.
Oh, Mobius,
I could
you
now
old
summon the blade
hard
at will,
you. Wait,
regardless of my strength. But once summoned, the blade's ravenous appetite could not be contained. It devoured the souls of its victims, and if I allowed it to become over-aroused, the Reaver would now turn its hunger on me.
imagine becoming so aroused that you turn your own
this
arousal
was the
hunger on
legendary
yourself.
Janos Ordrin, reputed to have been the most ancient and diabolical vampire to have ever existed.
So many
According to
diabolical
folklore,
vampires.
he lived high in the cliffs of Nosgoth's northern mountains and preyed mercilessly on the defenseless villages below. His reign of terror ended when the Sarafan finally hunted him down and tore his throbbing heart from his still living body. This relic came to be known
I
as
laughed
the
there.
Heart of Darkness and was supposedly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife. The Sarafan therefore guarded it carefully, lest the heart fall into the hands of their enemies. But I wondered, could Janos Ordrin truly have been as monstrous as depicted here? Or was this merely artistic license by the Sarafan, who sought to lionize themselves by demonizing their darkest enemy?
Also a very good point. He's a thinker, this Raziel. Always thinking things. Always questioning authority. There's a lesson to be learned here somewhere. I don't know what it is though. Obey the rules. That's what it is. Don't ask questions, obey the rules. That's what I was thinking. Back in line. What is... Shut up, Raziel. Gonna get us all homework. So off we go into the unknown abyss of whatever the hell. Mobius is definitely playing us, like, but whatever. He's an absolute creepster from Creepsville, population him. And we will have our day in court. We got a bunch of cauldrons here. No other extra special lores about viciously vampires, though. What about this happy sack? Nothing. Onwards and upwards, that's where we're going, climbing up. Oh wait, L1 was to prime myself for a big jump in the last game, but it's block? I have a block in this game? Okay. That's a door. I don't believe I've been in here, but find out. Turn your Reaver on and off. Why would I want to turn my Reaver off though, right? Because I can't move? Wait, what? Okay, this is bizarre. I'm gonna have to figure this mechanic out. The Reaver is... No, I took that guy's sword, right? I was like, why does the Reaver look different? Because it's not the Reaver. Somehow I ended up with that guy's sword. I'd say somehow I picked it out. So it's such slow.
How my history came full circle.
Or Zephon, best boss fight in the first game.
Was a memorial to my former Sarafan brethren and
his brothers.
All of
the
us
brothers we
martyred
killed.
here. And then so cruelly profaned by Cain when he imposed his gift on our noble corpses.
Zephon.
For the first time, I beheld the image of my Sarafan self, memorialized here among my fallen comrades. It
What did he look like?
To see how noble and pure I had been. And what a vile phantasm
It tortured me to see how handsome I was.
God, I'm idiot. Of loss and betrayal welled up in me, so overwhelming I could barely contain it. All I wanted at this moment was to find Cain and destroy him.
Uh-oh. Time to get fighting. That guy in the green looks like Loki. Three Loki references. Ow. Very ow. Okay, very ow. Okay. Let's do the lock-on system. Because we can dodge with X, which is much more accurate. This. Just gotta time it, I think. Or you gotta wait for that big move. You're actually really hard to kill. Oh, it cut her whole head off. That was wild. Let's get some soul back before I end up in the other realm again. Cool. Let's dance the dance. Oh, cut her head off. Whoops. Definitely getting much more vicious with the character models this time around with Soul Reaver 2. There I am. Blood raises up inside of me as I see how much of a studly Chad I was. Look at my bangs! What a stately Chad I was. Okay, we got Melchiah, who I believe was the first boss in the last game. That is cool art, though. Here we have Rahab. Yeah, this was the underwater guy. We broke all the windows. That was the best thing about the last game was the boss fights. Some of the puzzles were fun as well. Terrell. Ooh, Terrell. I can't remember which one Terrell was. He does look a lot like Loki from the current MCU though, doesn't he? Didn't he? Zephon. Zephon was the best fight. He looked like a big fucked up insectoid bug dude. Which one is this? Duma. Cool. Kind of reminds me of Jin from Tekken when he turns into the devil. Duma. Du hast. Duma. Du hast. So anyway, I start walking. This... that's the door that I came through. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh yeah, through here we're going? Because I did open a door to get in here. This way goes upstairs. It seems likely. The music's okay. Like, it's like inoffensive, you know, is what I would say about it. Like, it's grand. Like, it's fine. It's pretty inoffensive. Like, you know, it's not annoying me or like this is really bad, but it's not exactly like doing much for me either. Like, Whereas like when the first game starts, it's like fucking crazy, like electro-industrial reverb and all. You're like, what? This game has not had any of that yet. That like was definitely the spark, I would say. It still keeps this flame fan from the first game. If anybody knows what I'm talking about. Like. So I went upstairs to the second floor to see what I could see. And when I got up to the floor, I could not see shit. There's a door up here. So far we have had not needed to be in the spirit realm, but I'm thinking maybe they're gonna introduce us to that aspect of the game with a bit of a tutorial in 2, even though we know it from 1. Also, I'm wondering what the deal with the map is going to be this time. Are we in for another Metroidvania? Am I just open to go anywhere? So many questions about what lies in front of me.
And for the first time beheld Nosgoth in its former glory. The land overflowed with abundant life and vitality. And I knew with certainty then that the world I had left behind was nothing more than the corpse of Nosgoth, a lifeless husk bled dry by the corruption of Cain's parasitic empire. This was the fragile world Cain sacrificed to preserve his own petty life and ambition, heedless of the profound cost. The sight only deepened my resolve. I sensed that the pillars lay to the northwest. And if Cain truly waited to confront
I've got a compass.
me there, I would not disappoint him.
Nice. Okay, so we've got a direction. Northwest. Which is that way. But okay, in the last game the water killed me, but then I learned how to swim, so I'm assuming that right now we know how to swim. This is continuation. Time to glide. And then, oh shit, can I rotate while... I should be able to swim. Yes! L1 and X to swim fast. No? They removed the ability to swim fast. That is super weird. Why would they do that? You could swim fast and you could like hop out of the water. You could like do a wee zip move. Like, it was pretty fun, like the swimming once it was late introduced in the first game, but it was definitely L2. They've changed the button. That's all it is. Excellent. It's like, what an odd thing for them to have changed. It's like, why would they? This time he can't splash. Like, why? Cause we said so. Wait, am I supposed to do something with this? Also, my spirit is low. Could probably find some souls to
As I passed this arcane landmark, a wisp of the Reaver's energy was drawn into the ring, illuminating it. This created a beacon of sorts in the spirit world. If ever I found myself depleted in the spectral realm, and my soul tossed on the ethereal winds, these beacons would draw me back to safety and restore me.
So instead of a base spawn room where we start every time and then teleport to where we need to go, like in the first game, we have a spirit world checkpoint system, is what I'm assuming this is. That's good. That means it's going to be much more linear, maybe? Unless they just act like kind of like bonfires in Dark Souls or something. In between shortcuts of areas and stuff. Okay, so we have opened up and let the devil in. It's weird not turning the camera. I know it sounds stupid, like, but it's weird not turning the camera with L2 and R2, like, because I was just playing this and that was how it worked. Where is that door? Like, I swear they always show you the camera angle of what you just opened, but never where it opened. Wait, did I open it underwater? Let's just say it's this. So we can go L2 and X to swim fast. Yeah, we can. Burst speed. Burst speed. Can we chop underwater? No. So we're not going to be fighting underwater. I do remember, though, in the first game, that whenever you're in the spirit realm, there is no water and you just sink to the bottom. Because you don't, like, swim or whatever. Just like, oh! Why is there Soul Reaver
These
image?
ancient obelisks were mysteriously attuned to my spiritual essence. By simply touching the symbol, I could safely preserve an imprint of my soul, and thus create a milestone to which I could return when weary, and from which I could resume my journey.
Oh. Oh, it's a save point. Nice. Game data saved. Excellent. First save in the bank. That's a pretty cool looking save point. Look at that. That's neat. I like that. The reflections are a nice touch. I wonder if they use that method where it's like the same image twice, but like mirrored. They do that a lot in those old games. Pretty neat trick. I remember that being the case in like Silent Hill 3. When you look in the mirror. They like create the room twice. Jumping high.
While I had only just escaped the stronghold,
To the northwest
I
we go.
sensed that in time my journey would return me full circle to this place. Infiltrating
It's a nice
the fortress,
spot.
however, would be no
Look at that.
small feat.
Vanilla
The
sky.
balcony that had provided my escape was now well beyond my reach, leaving this massive gateway as the only means of entry.
Okay.
The gates were sealed, but like the time-streaming chamber I had seen earlier, their operation was undoubtedly linked to that odd crystal mounted above the entrance.
Two arms! Can you knock them over the edge? That's a shame. You can't knock them over the edge, but you sure as hell can knock yourself over the edge. No, there's that Soul Reaver jank I know and love. I see they've retained a little bit of the jank, lest we just end up it feeling like a completely different experience, you know? I mean, it's obviously smoother than the PS1 game, but it's not that much of an improvement. I'm not really like it's not really a complaint, it's just more of an observation, like, but not exactly the step up you would possibly expect. Oh, I just ran out of soul, I guess. I think it's to, if I'm understanding this correctly, I think it's to our benefit to not use the Soul Reaver in the real world. I think because of the parasitic nature of the Soul Reaver, we're like feeding its influence. If we feed it, we'll use their weapons to kill them. We'll kill them with their own weapons. Can I go into the normal world from anywhere? No, that sucks. Okay, well let's just continue on around here. There must be a place to come back. Somewhere around here. One of those regeneration spots. Got some demons over here. These guys were insanely annoying in the first game because they had like a knockback effect and they were very hard. They would just like, they had no knockback effect, so they would just cheese through your hits and stun you. But there was a little trick where if you like ran around in a circle like this while swiping in PS1, you could kind of like not get stammered by them while hitting them. I learned that towards the end. That really helped me with getting through some areas quite quickly. Where is... I'm surprised I have not seen anywhere to come back to life yet. How far are we gonna go before we find a spot? There's some soul. I just kind of ran out of life. Usually... Well, I mean, not usually. In the first game, you never had to go too far before you saw another restoration point. Here we go. That was quite far. See what we're up against here before I get rolled when I turn around. Yeah, those guys didn't see us come in. Wait, is that a... What is that? Is that a normal dog with a helmet? No. I don't know what the hell that is. I think they're going for like a hellhound type vibe. A hellbound hellhound. Look at the hellbound. Our lovely moderator. Whoa! That's pretty satisfying. It's nice finishing people in this. Let's see how he looks. Look at him. Fucking up the souls. There was a big massive obelisk like this in the first game, and we had to flip it over. That was quite funny. We got a boss to chase us really far. Oh, classic. You're on a slope. You can't get me. You're on a slope. Your geometry is slightly different to mine. Suffer my wrath. Retro gaming. Sorry, I just punched that bird and it exploded into green dust. This guy has a gun, yo. Yo, this guy has a gun. We do this. Is this gonna work? Seems to be. The dogs are quite weak, which I'm grateful for because, as we all know, done a certain way, a dog in a video game can be the most annoying thing in the world. Like, looking at you, Resident Evil and Silent Hill and every other game with a fast dog at below knee height that I have to somehow read incoming. No! Can I take torches off the wall like in the last game? Surely I can. That would be a bit of a step back, wouldn't it now? Is there something behind this waterfall though? No, the flames don't go out, so we don't have stuff like that going on. But there's not going to be any puzzles where I have to walk through water, but make sure you get fire on the other side or something. Wait, can I light these? What are these? I feel like maybe I could do something with those, but I guess not. I mean, I would have done something with them by now. We're supposed to be heading northwest, but we seem to be heading south right now, but it's always going to be like walking around something, so I'm probably not going to be able to rely too much on the exact compass heading at all times. What do we have here? Can I go up onto the side? Nope. It's just like a dead end. Sort of. I know. Get some more burbs. A lot of impaled villagers. Shit has been going down. They're really trying to deter people from coming in here. Don't do that. This guy's got the gun. We don't want that. We don't want to get blasted. This one's got an axe. Whoop. Sorry. I'm too much beast. You gotta be quicker. That axe is not gonna cut it. Oh, maybe it will. You know what? Maybe you're gonna do alright, kid. No! Why did I have to shit talk the troops? Just increases their morale. Come on! Stop it! Please, lady, just let me win. Okay. I just wanted to lure her into a false sense of security is all. Oh dear. This one's not gonna get a chance though. Gotta lay it on thick this time. Yeah. Okay. Very Devil May Cry, isn't it? Like just these little kind of lock-on style third-person encounters where the camera kind of rotates around. Oh, I just accidentally picked that up, but why not? You know what? We don't need that. We need this, and then a bit of this will help, I think. Keep the juice up, you know? I'm assuming there's going to be like health upgrades and all, like in the first game, because our health is looking pretty short. You know that spiral in the bottom right is our health. And there's ways of making it longer, picking up gems and stuff as we go. Seize him! No! It's like fucking snake. What do you call them? Snake eyes in Sekiro. Enemy's so annoying. One with the big cannon in the valley. Never did finish that game. Catch me on Twitch if you'd like to see me finish Sekiro. Come on now. Get stuck into a Raziel. Come on now! Come on now, Raziel. Come on now. Oh yeah, I've got 2 buttons for fighting now. I forgot. I've got square and triangle. I've also got a block. I need to remember. Sorry, it's just like there was like 1 button in the last game. Now there's like 3. So it's like, you know, a lot. I'm trying to. My brain is trying to compute it right now. I think I'm doing better when I'm just like doing the old PS1 Raziel routine of this. This is what I was doing in 1. Because of the way the models were, and it was working out really quite well. Because it seemed to do not too badly there compared to how I was doing. That little hop is weird, like when I'm hopping away from them, it's not really working all the time. I've learned... The music's mellowed out a little bit there. What's this? Maybe something in the spirit world. Well, I guess I can swim in this water. Well, this is the northwest. Here's a save point. It's a different save point, right? I assume. I guess it's a different save point. Oh yeah? Oh, okay. I guess they like boot up whenever you use them. Cool. Out to the northwest, we have made it, I think. Wait, is this... What is this? This is the castle that we came from. Is it not? Isn't this... Oh dear. That's the water I swam across initially, right? But somehow I got myself turned around. But I guess I should just kind of keep on a northwesterly heading. So we seem to be westerly, northwesterly heading now, so I'll just try and keep this direction based on what's offered. I mean, we did just come from over here. This is as fast as he goes. Nice little stocky jaunt he's got. Stockety jaunt, stockety jaunt. There's the birds. There's another. Now we're at the obelisk. Here at this thing. Is that somewhere I can like go up? Grab the ledge of? Hmm. And this is still northwest. If I go left here, that's northwest. Huh. Oh, there's a bridge here. Oh, those birds are just turning green themselves. That's interesting. Here we go.
Vampires had nothing in common with the deranged jackals I left behind in Kane's derelict empire. they seem to retain much of their former humanity. In this era, vampires were clearly not the uncontested predators we had been. These creatures were hunted mercilessly and oppressed.
Okay, so we're in a
But while
different
I still
time,
believed that
different
vampirism
relations.
was a plague and had to be wiped out, there was nothing noble or righteous in this crusade. This was simply ruthless persecution.
Feel a bit bad for the vampires now, eh, Brazil? Maybe later. Hello. Do we have a weapon around? I feel like something could be a weapon, you know, but you tell. The dog goes down quite quick. See if I can get this guy down quick as well. Come on. I can't actually see right now. Oh, his head's gone. That's good. Let's get his soul. Get the dog's soul. This person seems to be not aggroed to us right now for whatever reason. Aggro to me now, though. Now power moves take off quite a chunk of health. Let's get that in. Take her axe. Give this lever another tug. Gotta hold that lever. Click. Cool. Thought we back kick. So casual, like.
Pillars of Nosgoth. Pristine, whole,
Oh god.
uncorrupted. I had
Tasteful
never
thickness
beheld
of
them in
them.
this undefiled state.
They even have a
Something
watermark.
profound and indelible resonated within me at the sight.
Hmm.
And there, waiting at the very heart of the pillars, was the canker that was destined to destroy them.
Kane! We're getting a Kane showdown straight away. This is exciting. I'm liking how we're like straight into it. Like, because I was worried about they're gonna like lead us on for a while after the cliffhanger, but we're just straight
Mobius
in.
led me to you, Cain.
We're getting
I might
info,
have
background.
best meet me here.
And if Mobius told you I was hidden on the underside of hell, would you throw yourself into oblivion to pursue me? Mobius trawls for the ignorant and unwary, hauling his gasping prey from the streams of their destinies. Stay out of his net, Raziel.
Spare me
you
your
would say that.
elaborate metaphors, Cain. I have pursued you
You guys are all about elaborate metaphors. What are you talking about?
for your betrayal.
Don't
And balance will thus
act
be
like you don't love them
restored
now.
to Nosgoth.
And whose will is satisfied then? The will of Raziel or Mobius?
Would I be better manipulated by you, Cain? Now,
fair point.
turn and face me. The chase is over.
This isn't a chase, Raziel. We are merely passengers on the wheel of destiny, describing a perfect circle to this point. We've been brought here for a reason. I've seen the beginning and the end of our story, however, and the tale is crude and ill-conceived. We must rewrite the ending of it. You and I.
Face me, Cain. Even you shouldn't die a coward's death.
Isn't it customary to grant the condemned a final request?
I recall no such courtesy from you.
Indulge me, Raziel. All I ask is that you listen. This
I like
is
this
the
music.
sublime moment of our undoing, Raziel. The ineffable fulcrum upon which swings the entirety of our history. This is where all of Nosgoth is betrayed. In this instant, Ariel, the Balance Guardian, is murdered by dark forces bent on overthrowing the pillars. Her spirit is just now tearing free, lost in the ether, trying to find its way here. You have already seen how she comes to haunt these pillars.
Bound here by your refusal to die.
The woman who
You are
appeared
the
at the
reason
first
this
one,
land
that's who
becomes
she
diseased.
is.
As long as
I
you
wondered who
remain
that woman
alive,
was with the
you
half
condemn Nosgoth to
skeletal
an eternity
face.
of decay.
I remember her
Be
appearing in the
still,
room of
Raziel.
pillars in the first game.
See this. As Ariel dies, I am being born to take her place as Balance Guardian. Such is my destiny.
My God.
Whoa.
At the moment of my first cry, Ariel's beloved, the Guardian Upraptor, finds her corpse. Racked with grief and tormented by suspicions of treachery, Upraptor plunges into a madness which overflows and infects all of the Guardians who are symbiotically bound, including me. The repercussions of Ariel's assassination were expertly calculated. The entire circle descends into madness, and I am tainted at the moment of my birth, instantly rendered incapable of fulfilling the role destiny has prepared for me.
Shall I show you the same mercy you showed the rest of the circle then? You blithely murdered them to restore their pillars, yet your hand faltered when it came to the final sacrifice. What makes you exempt, Cain? You're merely the last man standing. Why condemn me for simply carrying out what you hadn't the courage to do yourself?
Let's drop the moral posturing, shall we? We both know there's no altruism in this pursuit. Your reckless indignation led you here. I counted on it. There's no shame in it, Raziel. Revenge is motivation enough. At least it's honest. Hate me, but do it honestly. 30 years hence, I am presented with a dilemma. Let's call it a two-sided coin. If the coin falls one way, I sacrifice myself and thus restore the pillars.
Okay.
But as the last surviving vampire in Nosgoth, this would mean the annihilation of our species. Mobius made sure of that. If the coin lands on the reverse, I refuse the sacrifice and thus doom the pillars to an eternity of collapse.
Putting a
Either
lot on
way,
this coin toss.
The game is rigged.
We agree then that the
Let's do it,
pillars
Harvey
are
Dent.
crucial and must be restored.
Yes, Raziel. And that's why we've come full circle to this place.
So after all this, you make my case for me. To end this stalemate, you must die so that new guardians can be born.
The pillars don't belong to them, Raziel. They belong to us.
Your arrogance is boundless, Cain.
It really is.
There's a third option. A monumental secret hidden
Holiday
in your
to
very
Hawaii.
presence here. But it's a secret you have to discover for yourself.
Secret, you say?
Unearth your destiny, Raziel. It's all laid out for you here.
You said it yourself, Cain. There are only two sides to your coin.
Apparently so. But suppose you throw a coin enough times. Suppose one day it lands on its edge.
What? Okay. I'm imagining it now. What? I'm gone. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he just said that so he could like slip out while we were thinking about it. Look at this. This is a cool thing. The way the birds turn to green. The color green. Here, anyway, let's turn to the Soul Realm, because if somebody died here, maybe there's something here in the Soul Realm. Then again, perhaps not, as it would appear. We do have somewhere to go behind, though.
I didn't know what impulse stayed my hand, why I had so willingly allowed Cain to escape me when I had pursued him for so long. I had no reason to trust Cain after he had valued me so little.
He's so manipulative, like...
I found myself intrigued by his words.
Yeah, that's because he's a champion gaslighter.
To so gullibly play his pawn.
You just don't learn.
Truly had secrets
He
to
did us so gaslighty and dirty in
I
the
was
first game, it's
determined to
hard
expose them.
to believe that Raziel's gonna eat another spoonful of his shit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, like, although, like, he had the chance to kill him and didn't, there is more to the story, but ultimately Cain is just so arrogant that he believes ultimately whatever it is to be attained is his to have. What an asshole. Back into the normal world. Back into it we go. There's another checkpoint.
From the moment of my arrival, I had the constant and palpable sensation of being watched. Someone, it seemed, was keenly interested in my presence here.
Mobius? Well, probably not Mobius, because we've already established Mobius, right? We're alluding to a new character. I hope it's one of these epic vampire lords. But I think maybe the Nosgoths killed them all, because we're in a time where vampires were, like, persecuted massively.
This door had been sealed for centuries. I began to realize it was no mere coincidence that I found myself standing here, beneath this winged figure with blue skin and cloven hands so like my own.
That's a Soul Reaver
and bearing
key.
This unique key.
Yeah.
And so it was with a sense of gravity and trepidation that I unsealed that ancient door.
Man, this guy's...
crossed the threshold.
He should be writing this down. Like, this autobiography is writing itself. He should have a little tape recorder. Like, was he supposed to remember all this later to write the book about it? No. Write that down. Write that down. Oh, that's good. Write that down. That's what he's thinking all the time to himself. Oh, that was really good. Portend. He says portend like 4 different times in the first game, and it's amazing. I completely forgot the word portend existed. I think it's like used in like Shakespeare and stuff. What the hell is this? Yo, it's the rock crystal monsters from Demon Souls. What? It's the crystal demons from Demon Souls that shoot lasers out their face. I like the squeal of the sword though. But should I be using this? I don't think so. I mean, using the Soul Reaver is easy mode, I guess, but it's bad for us. It's filling a meter. I'm not quite clear on that aspect, but I think to overuse the Soul Blade is to invite disaster, is what I'm being given the inclination of. I'm noticing that beside our health bar in the bottom right is a green bar appearing. Is that appearing when I'm bringing this out? What's that about? See, that meter's building up. See, we probably don't want that. I'm thinking. What do we have here?
As I entered the chamber, I sensed that it had been sealed for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years. And while this room was clearly built when the pillars were erected, I knew that no human hand could have shaped this place, and that perhaps it had never been seen by human eyes. The surrounding murals depicted a winged race, their features so like my own, but beautiful, where mine were grotesque, and angelic, while mine were demonic. I tried to decipher these images.
I know that feel.
A great war.
They're so beautiful, while me,
none I had ever seen.
so butt ugly.
The pillars, raised by this winged race, who thus defeated their adversaries.
Just want to be pretty.
The winged beings again, writhing in agony, apparently afflicted with the same bloodthirst I had so recently suffered. And throughout the chamber, inscribed everywhere...
Is that a helmet? I thought that was a mullet for a second on that last one, the He-Man style haircut.
I wondered.
Lies, Raziel.
Lies, Raziel. Lies, Raziel. It's Daddy from the first game.
Do not be deceived.
Ah, my ancient benefactor.
Yeah, ancient benefactor, narrator.
We had parted ways forever.
I thought I was beyond his influence since I left in the first game. That's...
No doubt
they left that line out during the intro too. I thought that's why I thought they were going to leave him out.
Do not be insolent, Raziel. I am eternally present here and everywhere, now and always.
But that's not what you said at the end of the last game, but okay, I'll allow it.
The turning wheel, the hub of this world's destiny.
But perhaps not so omnipotent as you'd have me believe. Your hold on me appears to be tenuous. I no longer seem to need you. Yet I'm guessing you still need me.
This
Raziel's gotten very
unworthy of you,
arrogant this
Raziel.
time. Yeah, it is unworthy of
Do
you.
not forget that you have a task to fulfill here. You are
Changed somehow.
indebted to me.
Why did he change? What changed?
Indebted.
Something's
You would
different.
have me show gratitude for a gift I didn't ask to be bestowed.
He's become
Do you forget that you forced me to inhabit
belligerent.
this vile carcass?
I restored you to yourself, Raziel. It was Cain who destroyed you. The very enemy you've just let slip through your grasp. Do not fail me, my servant.
I'm glad it's the same voice.
I serve no one.
I wonder why they changed the voice of Cain. Maybe someone can let me know in the comments if possible.
Mobius is my good servant. I have many.
Oh, Mobius works for him.
And if I
Okay.
tell Mobius that he's worshipping a giant squid, do you think his faith will falter?
You
We
have
all
grown
worshipping giant
willful,
squids, though.
Raziel.
In the
But
end.
beware. To embrace a serpent is to invite poison into your heart. Cain is a sinuous beast. He will seduce and deceive you.
Yeah, exactly.
You
That's all he's ever
pride
done.
yourself on your free will, yet you let that degenerate deter your resolve.
Yeah.
I harbor no illusions about his integrity, nor anyone else's. In fact, I am beset by manipulation on all sides. I merely
Yep.
seek the truth.
Okay. Somewhere
These
in
are
here, in the
fathomless
middle,
truths, Raziel.
is the truth.
agony of birth and death and rebirth. This is the wheel of fate, the purifying cycle which sustains all life. Vampires are an abomination, a plague which leeches this land of its spiritual strength.
Okay, so
They
we know whose
obstruct
side you're
the flow
on.
of life and death. Their souls stagnate in their wretched corpses. But the wheel must
Yeah.
turn. Death is inexorable and cannot be denied.
Inexorable death.
Your destiny is irresistible, Raziel. You are my soul reaver, the scourge of the vampires.
He said it.
Reaper of their apostate souls.
You are mine.
Remain steadfast. End the vampire's parasitic curse and restore Nosgoth. Cain's blood belongs on your hands.
I feel like we're back on track now.
Cain indeed
Back on mission.
deserves to die for condemning me to this repugnant form. But
We
if
need a
and
daddy
when
back.
I kill
Octopus tentacle
him, it will be
daddy.
for me
Keep us
alone
right.
to decide.
Cain destroyed you without a flicker of remorse. He tore the soul from your noble corpse. And after you had served him faithfully for 1,000 years,
Yep.
he discarded you in the abyss on a jealous whim.
That's all you need to know.
Remember your rage,
He tore his
Raziel.
wings off and threw him into the abyss
it
just
guide
because
your
he,
hand.
he had the audacity to evolve before him. Even though he didn't do it himself, it happens to you. You know, it's not something that he decided on. It happened to him, and then Cain punishes him for it. Because he's an insecure, gaslighting piece of shit. And that's the truth. So that will be the end of episode 1 of Soul Reaver 2 on PlayStation 2. The day after I finished the first on Twitch, and we're straight in here, episode 1. Hopefully you can hope to see episode 2 soon. I really hope that some of you are on board with the story as much as I am. And for those of you who are maybe fans of the series a long time standing and finding this video now, I hope you're enjoying watching somebody discover this series for the first time. If you didn't see me play the first game, sorry you missed that. You can still catch the VODs on Twitch, so feel free to check them out for a limited time. I think they'll be standing for about 3 months. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. Check me out next time, and check me out on Twitch as well if you would like. Until next time, stay safe. Thank you.